every financial crisis we've had, right, in the history of the world, and we've had 10,000 of them. There have been 10,000 currency collapses, from the Lydians to the Athenians to the Spartans to the Romans to the Venetians, to the Brits multiple times, to the Carthaginians. You could just go on, and the Persians, and go on and on and on and on. And the history is full of examples of an empire rises, someone mints a currency, the successors or the children of the conqueror debase the currency, the grandchildren debase it more, the great-grandchildren forget how they actually got the power, they spend everything, go wacky crazy. Pretty soon the economy collapses, you can't pay your soldiers, they all defect, and the barbarians come over the gate and they take everything, including your debased gold. They melt it down, they purify it, they mint their own coin, and the cycle starts again. That's literally taken place 10,000 times. When von Schliemann dug up ancient Troy, he dug up like 19 ancient Troys. He found 19 cities buried under each city. Everybody said, good place to build a city. They would build it. They would rise over a couple hundred years. They would crash and burn. 200 years would go by. Someone else comes along and says, wow, good place to build a city. We do it again. We do it again. We do it again. That's the history of money. And that's the history of economics. Along comes Satoshi, and we've got the white paper, and January 3rd, 2009, we launched this little monetary virus or this idea virus, and it kind of burns very, very low level for a while, and people aren't sure of it. It's a gimmicky thing, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and waiting for, well, why would you need it? And you had to be a visionary to kind of need it or get it.
We have all heard Michael Saylor's explanations of currency collapse and devaluation from the beginning to the present, indicating his belief that the US dollar and the current economy will soon fail. In addition to repeating collapses over time, he also thinks that new technologies and currencies will appear. So make sure to watch the entire video if you want to understand everything Michael Saylor has to say. Furthermore, let's hear Michael's business collapse story in Argentina when the peso crashed and devalued.
I did have a business in Argentina, and I watched a currency collapse in Argentina where we lost nearly everything. Like, we lost all of our profits for a decade. Overnight, we had all our money in a bank, and it was in dollars. It was an American bank in Argentina.
Really?
And the American bank sealed itself. The government sent an edict to the bank. The bank converted our dollars into pesos at $1 per peso. And then the next day devalued the peso 10 for 1. And we lost 90% of our money in one day. And in an American bank holding in dollars. And luckily for us, it was a small part of our business. So it's kind of like someone just chopped one of your fingers off.
Michael experienced a catastrophe just like every other billionaire, and even his own company failed as a result of the devaluation of the Argentine peso. Michael has experienced this situation before, which is why he is certain about the decline of the dollar and the growth of the new currency, Bitcoin. Even though the cryptocurrency market is in disarray, with assets like Bitcoin recording substantial lows recently, this is likely a factor that can change American investors' preferences. Despite the lingering uncertainty about the future, more investors are choosing to participate in the industry as digital assets function in a climate characterized by a faltering economy and the possibility of strict regulations. Finbold in particular shows that 18% of Americans had cryptocurrency investments as of the summer of 2022. The percentage has increased 125% from the 8% of Americans who had investments in cryptocurrencies during the summer of 2020. 15% of Americans still intended to invest in cryptocurrencies by the summer of 2022, demonstrating the continued optimism in the industry despite the slump in the market. This value shows an increase of approximately 36.36% from 11% of Americans who said they planned to invest in cryptocurrencies during the summer of 2020. Interestingly, Americans are becoming more interested in cryptocurrencies despite prolonged bear markets, which is partly the opposite of past patterns where a price decrease has not drawn more individuals. Notably, the growth shows that the concerned investors can handle the uncertainty. Such investors are presumably aware that cryptocurrencies are still a new asset class and technology with unknown effects on the broader financial industry. In this case, some investors disregard the short-term price volatility and concentrate on potential future growth instead. Furthermore, let's hear Michael's reasons for his love of Bitcoin and the result of choosing Bitcoin over other digital assets.
So we decided that rather than the slow or the fast death, we would go and do something and take a risk. And it's a very intricate story, which is probably beyond the scope of this, but the short of it is about 10 different transactions, a Bitcoin, a share buyback, a Dutch auction, equity raises, junk bond, convertible bonds, lots of communication to the street. And we went from investing 250 million in Bitcoin to 425 million in Bitcoin to eventually $1 billion in Bitcoin to $2 billion in Bitcoin to just slightly less than 4 billion in Bitcoin. And the result I just said, right, for our shareholders, our stock outperformed every big tech company, every asset class, and every enterprise software company. I think we did the number and we calculated we outperformed 485 of the 500 S&P companies over that time period. And then in terms of the corporation itself, we added billions and billions of dollars to the enterprise value of the company. So it's paid off so far, even though we get thrashed this way and that way. But
Michael had a lot of options for digital assets, but he eventually decided on Bitcoin. The outcome, as we have all heard, is exceptional. Despite Bitcoin's current downturn, MicroStrategy outperformed 485 S&P companies, which is rather remarkable. As we all know, Michael started buying Bitcoin back in 2020 when the price was below $10,000. Now Bitcoin is back again to around $19,000 from its high of $69,000. Let's hear if Michael's view has changed now. Will he be looking for another digital asset this time if he gets the money to buy?
We still get the same question, which is, if I have an increment of $10 million of cash flow, do I put it into bonds? Do I put it into gold? Do I buy silver? Do I buy land? Do I buy art? Do I buy Bitcoin? So I still think Bitcoin is the most scarce, most desirable, highest quality property as a long-term store of value. So I think generally for us, we've adopted a very simple strategy. We keep enough working capital to last us a year, normally in the range of about $50 million in US dollars. And then when we have excess cash, either from operating income or any other financing opportunity, we put that into our treasury reserve asset. And we have adopted Bitcoin as our primary treasury reserve asset. So we're 100% treasury.
This demonstrates how much Michael believes in Bitcoin, since he would select it over any other digital asset if given the opportunity to reinvest. The world's largest provider of cryptocurrency exchange-traded products, 21 Shares, has just launched the first Bitcoin ETP that is physically backed in the Middle East, so it appears that his decision has paid off. The 21 Shares Bitcoin ETP will trade the same way as the 21 Shares Bitcoin ETP in Europe. With listing the first Bitcoin ETP in the Middle East, 21 Shares now has 46 products across 12 exchanges in 9 countries. Haney Rashwan, the CEO and co-founder of 21 Shares, believes the expansion into the UAE is a significant milestone due to the massive growth in crypto and blockchain adoption in the region. While 21 Shares and other ETP companies continue to issue Bitcoin exchange-traded products worldwide, US crypto investors will seek the first Bitcoin spot ETP. Crypto experts believe the SEC accepting a Bitcoin spot ETF will drive massive institutional adoption, and that will be the day Michael will get all his rewards. What do you guys think of all this? Please share any thoughts in the comments below. They always generate interesting dialogue. If you found this video interesting or helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any of our future uploads. And while you're still here, click to watch one of these 2 videos appearing on your screen right now. Each one is a value-packed dive into some of the hottest topics in crypto. Thanks for watching, until next time.